Hello and welcome to Talking Bottom. I'm Paul Tanter.
I'm Ange Pearson.
No, I'm Matt Brooks.
And this week it's the favourites. We decided to do a little bit of a poll on social media and see what people's favourites were. And also we're going to talk about ours as well. So this is part of our series of themed episodes, but we couldn't wring a seventh theme out of things. So we're just talking about what everyone likes.
7's such a round number, isn't it? Same amount of episodes per series of Bottom. They all did 7 every time.
No, we just
Trying
did
to think
this.
of another example.
We're doing a bit of a bonus one, aren't we? Because we've done the themed episodes, and then we thought, well, we'll do a little bit of a roundup. We've always done a roundup, haven't we, at the end of every
I
kind of
don't
series?
think we did one for series 3. I think we forgot.
Didn't we?
Oh, I thought we did one, but I can't remember now. We can always cut this bit out if we did.
I think we did. I think
we
we
did.
summed up that people basically berated us for
Oh,
ripping apart.
I guess
Series
we didn't
3.
do a roundup for the lives
No.
and Guest House Paradiso.
No. But that's because...
That's not a series.
Yeah. Anyway, so we asked Bottom fans on social media, what are your favourites of the following things? Series, moment, line, and character. And I've been going through the answers, and I will say this is quite an informal poll, so it's not official. I haven't compiled a big spreadsheet of all the answers or anything like that, but I've been looking through them, and there's a lot of variety in the answers.
Good.
So, yeah, I think it's a good testament to the quality of Bottom in that there are some characters that are slightly leading other characters. There's a series that I think generally pips the other series in terms of consensus, but in terms of episode and definitely moments, there's a huge wide variety that no one can really kind of find a favourite on.
That's good to hear, because on other shows it would easily be a stand-up moment. For example, what's your favourite Only Fools and Horses moment? Oh, definitely the bit where he falls through the bar, or when they're dressed as Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Or that chandelier falls.
Yeah, those would be the three bits, probably with a close fourth of like, when the inflatable sex dolls pop up or something.
Maybe.
I mean, that's because it's in a lot of countdown shows, though, isn't it? It's like best moment, don't you think? Don't you think it kind of enters the consciousness then? Those particular moments then become what everyone says are their favourite.
And they become bigger than they are.
Do you know what I mean?
Because you've been told they're the favourites.
And because Bottom is so overlooked, very, very wrongly, by a lot of these countdown shows,
You're right.
there wouldn't be that same... it's definitely the moment where, I think with Bottom, it does, as you say, show that the quality is there throughout, that all of these amazing moments kind of could be someone's favourite.
So if I was to ask you guys, what do you think people's general consensus for favourite series is? And again, this isn't scientific, but what do you think probably the most likely one would be?
2.
I would probably say 2 would just about pip 1 for a lot of people.
That's what I find. So a lot of people have 3, a lot of people have 1, but generally the more common one I've seen has been people saying series 2. That's not to say there aren't a lot of quality episodes in 1 and 3. I mean, the less said about 3, the better, obviously.
It's right in the middle of the arse cheeks, isn't it? 2. You've got series 1 open, and then in the middle 2's there, and you can squeeze 1 and 3 on either side of 2.
So 2's the arsehole?
Yeah, you can lick out that lovely arsehole of series 2. I would say 1, I think.
For you?
Yeah, for me.
Yeah.
But it's a hard choice between that and 2.
How about you, Matt?
It's 2 for me. For me, I would say that it's when they really have hit their stride, and every single episode is an absolute belter. I don't think there's... Well, I said during us doing the Series 2 podcast that I think the weakest one is a brilliant episode, which is Burglary. I think just because one has to be not as good as the other ones. And that the Burglary episode is a flawless episode and bordering on perfect. I think Series 2, really, that's Bottom peak.
Yeah. It's peak Bottom. But that's why it's hard for me, because I would say 2, because every single episode is absolute gold. But because for me, 1 is actually pretty much all gold as well. It's so hard to choose what your favourite episode. I can't even choose a favourite episode most of the time. I've got to do a top 3 in every series.
For me, Series 2 is my favourite series, yet 2 of my favourite episodes out of the ones that I've chosen have been from Series 1, and a lot of my favourite moments are from Series 1. It's so difficult when the quality that you're choosing from is so good. It's very difficult to make a distinction.
And even 3, I know you just said, quite kind of, referencing ourselves, 3, but 3 is still not in any way bad, and Hull and Carnival are incredible episodes.
Yeah.
So you can't write off Series 3 at all.
And
it's fantastic.
I think there's going to be a huge amount of fans who have responded to Terror
Right.
Right. I think that one, a lot of people love it.
So I will say again, there's a lot of variety on people's favourite episodes, but there are a few that sort of edge in front, and I think Terra is one of them.
I would say Gas, surely.
Gas is another, yeah. And what do you think another one might be?
Holy.
Oh, no.
Holy, I think, has got, that's a lot of people's Christmases as part of the routine. I would say Culture with the chess set. I think all that is a very important sum up bottom moment. Parade maybe is a lot of people's favourites.
Again, a few people referencing that, but I would say so. Gas, Terra, and the other one that you tend to see a lot of people referencing is Hole.
Of course, it is one of my all-time favourites. He's probably my second favourite.
Yeah, and I think John Plowman said his favourite was Hull, wasn't it? Or did he just call us arseholes? I can't remember. No, he definitely said Hull was his favourite. And I think Sex Shop Man.
Kevin McNally.
Mr. Sex.
Mr. Man.
So for you guys, I won't make you choose A1, but if you had to choose a top 3 episodes, what would you choose?
Therefore, I'm probably going to hedge my bets.
I meant your personal favourites, not what you think the fans have chosen.
Sure. Well, I guess hedge my bets is the wrong expression then, but if I'm going to pick 3, I'd want to pick 1 per series.
Okay.
It's Gas in Series 1. Series 2, I would pick Culture. And for Series 3, 100%, I would pick Hole.
Okay. Good choices.
They're definitely great choices. Are we doing it per series?
No,
that's just something I imposed.
Yeah.
Just top 3 episodes.
That would make it easier in a way. But it's so very difficult because I think if I had to have only 3 episodes of Bottom that I could have if I was on Hooligan's Island and all I could watch Bottom ever again. Oh, it's hard. It's hard. I have to say Contest. I know a lot of people don't agree with me. I love Contest so much. Miss World and everything. So I have to say Contest. I have to say Gas. And therefore, it's already, I've only got one more choice, which is awful. And I'd be really agonising over it, but it's between Holy and Culture. Probably.
Interesting. Okay.
And I'd probably have to come down on the side of Culture, I think.
Yeah.
But I love the Christmas. I love them all, and Hole is I can do a top 3 in each series. I'm sorry. You have to rip the DVDs from my cold,
What's your
dead
favourite
hands.
3 jokes from each episode? Paul, what are your favourites then? Top 3.
So mine would be the ones I went for. I've gone for Smells, which is obviously a big favourite for people. Gas, which is also a classic favourite for people. And then the third one, not been mentioned so far, and this is because I rewatched it recently and I fell back in love with it, and I forgot just how funny it is throughout the entire episode, and that's Digger. So I'm going to go for Digger as part of my top 3.
Is that because of Lady Natasha's cleavage?
It's partly because of her cleavage. I was rewatching it recently, partly to watch the Lily Lineker Love Bureau scene, but then I just watched the whole thing through because it was so great, and I was just laughing just from beginning to end.
Apocalypse, I think, is one that since doing this podcast I've fallen in love with even more as well.
Yeah.
There are so many. To a certain extent, Terror I definitely have a new appreciation for since rewatching them. But series 1, like every single episode is gold for me. And I think what it is it just reminds me of being 8 years old and watching and watching and rewatching and rewinding and watching series 1 over and over again.
Now, to play devil's advocate, I am a listener of this podcast. I was promised this is the fans' favourites. I've heard these 3 cunts go on about their favourite moments all throughout the whole fucking series. I want to hear what the fans have to say.
Well, we are fans, aren't we?
But don't want to hear about us 3. Come on, what have they said?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Matt. So amongst the fan choices, Gas tended to be a favourite, Hole tended to be a favourite, and Terror tended to be a favourite. But there was, as I say, a wide variety of choices of episodes.
They're not a clear winner.
Not really. So the other things we were asking for was people's favourite moment, people's favourite line, and people's favourite character. Now, moments and lines was very general, probably because there's so many good bits in Bottom. Obviously, there was a bit of conflation between moments and lines because often dialogue makes up part of the moment. Now, with characters, who do you guys think edged it for favourite characters?
Because you clarified not Rich Ureddy.
Right, we did say not Rich Ureddy because that would be just too easy for people to go for. There was a great variety of choices for people. I don't feel there was anyone who was a clear winner, but there were a few people who edged in front.
Well, I bet there's this one come up more times than he's perhaps deserving of being mentioned.
Go on.
The Flasher. I bet a load of people just, I love the Flasher.
I don't recall seeing anyone mention the
All right.
Flasher. There may have been one person,
Okay.
but
I
no.
think Rottweiler.
Rottweiler is one that I've seen mentioned more than others, yeah.
Dickhead must be.
Dickhead is
stand
also,
up.
and there's a third one.
Spudgun.
Oh, no, you know what? Spudgun and Hedgehog didn't get as many mentions as I thought they would.
I guess they kind of get lumbered in with Richie and Eddie and would have
guess,
thought,
yeah.
it's 55p.
Now, Matt, no. And who did you just say?
Gasman.
That was the other one that you tended to see.
okay,
It was
sure.
Is that because Gas is a lot of people's favourite episode then, do you think?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. So there were quite a few people who, when they wrote their answers, rather than give a variety of things, it tended to be things like, my favourite series is 3, my favourite episode is Whole, my favourite moment is the Ferris wheel collapsing, and my favourite line is something from
Which
that.
makes sense, actually, because if
Yeah.
your favourite moment is in your favourite episode
Yeah,
from your
yeah.
favourite series, then that's
Yeah.
why it's your favourite.
But also, I will say, if anyone answered the call out for people's favourites with just the reply, all of them, thanks a lot, you were no help, and you did waste my time by having to read your answer. So yes, those tended to be the characters that we would see sort of a bit more than others. But then when it came to moments and lines, there was a huge variety of things. Who, for you guys, who would your favourite characters be, by the way?
So not Richie and Eddie.
Not Richie and Eddie.
And we can also not Spudgun or Hedgehog.
You can have Spudgun and Hedgehog.
So yeah, those two are very much.
I think they're two halves of the same whole.
Yeah, they are. They could easily have had a spin-off.
Who, Spudgun and Hedgehog?
Yes.
Yeah, it would have been called Waiting for Eddie.
Yeah.
Waiting for Richie to shut the fuck up.
What
Uh,
about? I suppose. Yeah, Dickhead. For some reason.
If we're
yeah, the way he
talking
does it, yeah. it's-
characterization and the absolute brilliance of what they achieve in a few lines, Mr. Harrison.
Yeah.
If you're talking about it that way, I also think Mrs. Potato is a brilliant character.
Very good,
She's
yeah.
grotesque and fantastic. This idea of that she's basically like a madame, isn't she? Like of a brothel
It's
no one
not
wants to walk into.
specifically mentioned at all, but
No.
it's definitely there.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
god, yeah. And she won't even fuck Richie, you know. And yeah, obviously dickhead. Because he's in it a lot, isn't it? It's that thing of like which one's on screen more as well,
He
isn't it?
feels like he's in more episodes than
Yeah.
he's in. He's
And
only in 3.
Rottweiler, fantastic, like
Yeah,
wonderful.
so I was waiting to chime in with
Yeah.
Rottweiler. 100% such an impact.
But
was
we're not
so
reaching
small
a
amount.
consensus here, are we?
Well, my three would be Rottweiler, Mr. Harrison, and the Gas Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you've got to choose one.
Oh,
That's what I mean. We haven't chosen one, have we?
honestly, if I was going to choose one, I would probably choose Mr. Harrison. I'd love to
Yeah.
see more Mr. Harrison.
I
in it.
would. I think he could have a spin-off.
Yeah.
Talk about Batman.
Just some Slum Lord with every other every other tenant.
Just
being
him
some
going
kind of-
around getting
yeah.
rent off everyone who isn't Richie and Eddie. Yeah. And
Yeah.
running the shop. Imagine
Yeah.
him running the shop.
Right, so we'll have a little look through the social media and see what other people's selections are. On Facebook, Pete Shepherd goes for Series 3, Episode 1. His moment being Richie breaking the Ferris wheel. The line being, don't you dare call me overweight, young man. And also liking Deirdre with the tattoo of little and large on her thighs. Okay, that's not a character. Well, I suppose she is a
The
character,
moment.
we just don't see her.
Deirdre's
Yeah.
off screen. Okay.
Yeah?
All
Okay.
right, okay. So there are, if that's the consensus
That's
of
interesting
the
because
characters, yeah.
I think if Bottom had been repeated as much in these kind of countdown shows of favourite moments and such, I think the breaking of the Ferris wheel would definitely be that moment, wouldn't it?
So you mean of the carriage that they're in? It's not
Yeah.
the whole. Well, the whole thing doesn't fall down. It's just the whole carriage. Their
The
carriage falls
entire
down.
half of their carriage collapses when Richie sits down. That
Eventually,
moment,
it falls off completely, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It's hanging
don't
by
you
one.
dare call me overweight,
That's right.
young man, is absolutely fantastic. And I can see why that would be someone's favourite moment. I think I've said it. It's in my top 10. It has to be, honestly, I can't choose. I'm one of those people that's like, all of them. Because there are no bad episodes. But, yeah.
Do you know what the word favourite means?
It's hard though, because that's it. Bottom, as a collective, is my favourite thing in the world.
Yes, but it's hard. You're not saying, oh, this is an easy question. What's your favourite thing? What's your favourite kid?
Yeah.
Oh, I like
It's
'em all
that difficult,
individually.
isn't it?
So, Stuart Patterson on Facebook. Series, he can't choose between 1 and 2, yet his episode is from 3 as whole. Standout moment, Richie shitting himself in the devil costume. That's very memorable.
Okay. Which time?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. 3 of them. Favourite line, well, if you had the common decency to go out and get yourself a job instead of lying around the flat all day like some vast slug. Nipples.
Yeah.
And character Spudgun.
Okay. To me, it seems weird. Like, oh, I love Spudgun. What about Hedgehog? Now, fuck him. You know, it's there. They are there's one scene where it's just Spud Gun. There's not a scene without where it's just Hedgehog, is there?
I don't think so, no.
I don't think there's even a moment where he walks away from Spud Gun. I think he's literally next to him at all times. You see him on screen.
I think you've got when Spud Gun's kind of looking after the baby in Holy. He's kind of not next to him, isn't he?
Maybe I don't know if there maybe is a shot of just Spud Gun. Therefore, there
With
would
the
be a
baby
shot
and
of
the sickle down the back and everything. Yeah.
What about the bit where they're in parades? I think one of them goes up to the bar, and the other one sat down with Spud Gun's mother.
Maybe.
Still, so that doesn't count them being separate in the same fucking room.
I think the furthest apart I can remember them is in Terror when Dave Hedgehog is over by the bath with a blown up face and Spud Gun's on the other side of the room about to fart into the exploding carrots. Yeah.
Apart from when we just see Spud Gun and Hedgehog is round the corner.
Hedgehog's upstairs. I'm telling you, he's upstairs.
He's married with kids. They wouldn't all live together.
So James Pottinger says Series 2, episode Holy, the Christmas episode, standout moment, just the Halloween costumes. That's a very iconic moment, isn't it, when they enter the picture that we see of them. His favourite line, put it on blow, you dirty, dirty bastard. And favourite character is Spud Gun. Glenn Cowan, favourite Series 3, episode Doe. Standout moment, though, Eddie and Richie's Lonely Hearts tape in Lily Lineker's Love Bureau. Favourite line, Hitler, any relation. And favourite character, Dick Head.
I would say the Lonely Hearts adverts for Richie and Eddie serve as an excellent introduction to those two characters. If you've not seen it before, I get it. Straight away, you can see which one is which, because also you're seeing them in quote-unquote normal situation beforehand, and then you see, this is how they present themselves as the best. And you see Richie, he's fucking nervous, he's shy around women.
And completely lies to them to try and sleep with them. Whereas Eddie's just, here we go.
Yeah.
Come and get it.
A complete microcosm of them as characters. It's brilliant.
Okay, Phil Bellamy, favourite series, first series, episode Gas, standout moment, Richie threatening to force the drink down Dave Hedgehog's throat. It's the way Rick goes psycho. Favourite line, extended family, it's just another word for a sexual free-for-all. Yeah. And favourite character, Mrs. Potato, Spud Gun's mum.
Brilliant.
Wow, okay.
I mean, just as no one's right or wrong here in any of your favourites of anything, but I agree entirely with all of everything that's been said so far.
Ian Norman, favourite series, number 2, episode Gas, standout moment, the chess fight, that's a great fight. Favourite line, I have given you a red hot tip, I know, and there's nothing I can do about
There's a pause for the laugh for the audience, is how well that goes down.
And favourite character is Mr. Rottweiler. Andrew Gaskell, favourite series 2, favourite episode Contest, standout moment, in just them being inside the tent in Sout. Favourite line, Eddie, I think there's something outside. Yes, there's bound to be something outside. And favourite character, the Gas Man. Dave Dawson, second series, favourite episode Gas. Standout moment, the opening scene to Holy. I think he means like the whole Wallace and Gromit situation with the candle burning through the string.
Okay.
That's a whole great bit of slapstick, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's so
Stringing up
tragic.
Santa.
It's so tragic that Richie's doing it to maybe like give a bit of magic and wonder through into Eddie's life. Yet he can't do that correctly because he has to be nasty about it and give himself more presence than Eddie. He has to lord it over him, but then Eddie's getting the one up on him and being tragically, overly violent, isn't it? Because it's quite the escalation of I'm just doing this, ha 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 ha, I'm going to hang you unless you give me money and I'll let you live.
And Dave's favourite line is, do you have someone who looks after you? And favourite character is the Gas Man. Okay, got a couple of ladies, which is good because it's been all guys so far. Okay, Lisa Lou, series, all of them. That doesn't help me, Lisa.
No, Lisa.
Episode Gas. Okay, standout moment, Richie chopping his finger off in Holy. That is fucking good. Favourite line, thick earth, you sad pathetic winker. And another one for Spud Gun. Sarah Fletcher says second series and episode Burglary. That's the first one for that. Standout moment, Richie getting Eddie to bed and singing Do Your Balls Hang Low.
Yeah, as a kid, it was just like magic. It's like something to learn. It's pretty easy to learn as well. There's something quite catchy about it. And wasn't it you, Ange, that wrote down the lyric to that and lost a friend?
I don't think I lost a friend really because she was quite happy about it, but her mum was not.
Yes.
I literally remember it. I was rewinding and pausing the tape so I could write down the words word for word perfect, and then I gave it to my friend, and then I was banned. I was told I couldn't play with her anymore. Her mum told her that, but there you go. I think I think I was right. I don't think I was out of order at the age of 8.
I was right.
Yeah.
And Sarah's favourite character is Natasha. Oh, Natasha.
Lady Natasha.
Lady
Sarah
Natasha.
Jane Wellesley.
Unless she's on the make, in which she definitely is, isn't she? But is she a lady?
It'd be interesting to ask what Helen's thoughts are on this, because
Yeah,
there's holes in this story for sure.
definitely.
Why does she believe that Richie is the Duke of Kidderminster? Surely she would know who the Duke of Kidderminster is if she is a lady.
Well, she's from different aristocracy, isn't she?
Well,
If you know, she's
I
from a
think
different kind of part of the world.
It's very easily provable. He's not just saying I'm a lord. He's saying I'm this one.
Yeah.
This before the internet, I suppose.
I
But
don't
still,
is there a Duke of Kidderminster? I don't think there is.
I don't think so,
That would be
surely.
what gives it away.
I see.
Okay, Rod Tippertron, great surname. Second series, episode Gas. Stand out, beating the gas man's sentence with a frying pan. Line, I've given you a red hot tip. And his favourite character is someone he likes so much that he's written the entire thing. Lady Natasha, Letitia, Sarah Jane Wellesley, Omstromsky, Ponsonsky, Smythe, Oblomov, Boblamov, Dub. Third Viscountess of Moldavia.
Sounds great. I love half it. Can't not. It just makes me think of happy times as a kid with
Yeah.
that worn book of scripts.
Yeah.
So it's like singing along to music, isn't
Yeah.
it? That
Yeah, it's like when you're watching it, it's like you're watching your favourite band and you're singing along to your favourite bits
Yeah.
of the songs and everything, isn't it? When you rewatch comedy like
No-
you love from
No
childhood.
new material, just play the old stuff, then fuck off. Play the same, sing the Only Fools and Horses theme tune 85 times, then leave the stage.
That's what they did in the musical, wasn't it?
Yeah. Joel Greenbaum's second series, episode Burglary, standout moment, the hobnob fight on Wimbledon Common.
that is a good one. That's with the eye being impaled
Yeah.
and he's facing the fire and stuff. It's
It's
so many
interesting
parts
that you
to
say
it.
Burglary's like the weakest in 2, Matt, because I do think Burglary's a really well structured, written
Yeah.
episode. Like,
What I mean.
But
The
you're-
weakest one is
you're feeling
gold.
that's the weakest, but other people are saying it's their favourite.
Well,
Like-
it's how I feel,
Yeah.
and it's not correct.
No,
it's-
there is no correct or
Yeah.
wrong. There is no right or wrong on this. I mean, I would say Terror still is probably my least favourite, but other people put it
yeah.
as their favourite ever.
Break is my least favourite because just one has to be weaker than the other ones. I just feel. I guess the only standout moment in that is him getting his legs cut off. But other than that, it's just a lot of them waiting around, and
It is.
that's happened in other episodes. So it just felt maybe it's not quite different enough from things we've seen before.
Joel's favourite character is the gas man, and favourite line, what kind of sandwiches do you do? Sandwiches.
Brilliant.
So it's amazing that some of these lines, a lot of these lines, I would say, like what kind of sandwiches do you do? Written on page, that's nothing, is it? But the performance, the emphasis on sandwiches, it's all their performance. It makes such a difference. They are so funny. What a well thought. What a good point. They're funny.
We agree. Yeah.
Right, so some from Twitter, the account My Sitcom Life, which is a good account that celebrates the world of sitcom. They've selected Series 1, the episode Culture, so the chess episode. Favourite moment, the pliers up the nose fight from Smells. I mean, that's just so representative of Bottom, isn't it?
That's because, it's not technically the first episode. It's the one that went out first, but that would be a lot of people's first time seeing a fight in Bottom, and it might be the best one. I think possibly the chess fight tops it, but yeah,
I think for me
Crack in the
personally
septum.
it does, but yeah, those pliers, the way they rip round Richie's nose.
Crunch.
yeah.
His favourite character, Mr. Rottweiler, and favourite line, the gypsies swear by it.
I love that, yeah. I bet they do. I bet they say, what the bloody hell's this?
Andy Cantwell on Twitter says, second series, episode Doe, standout moment, Richie falling down the stairs in Parade. In Parade? Does he fall downstairs in Parade? Parade is the one with Robert Llewellyn. And
Doesn't.
No.
No, I think he means Carnival.
Yeah, I think he's got that confused because
Yeah.
in Carnival he falls down. Should traffic wardens be armed?
Yeah.
And the look of panic
Yeah.
on his face.
And line, do you want some of this? Do you want some? Because you're going to get it, you'll get. And favourite character is Spudgun. Right.
No one said Hedgehog. Loads of people
No,
said Spudgun.
You're right.
Poor Christopher Ryan.
okay.
He was in the young ones as well. You should come on. That's count for something.
Give me a hedgehog, I'll show you why.
Yeah, that's going to put up a lot more of a fight than a potato would. It's a much more impressive trick if you think about it.
Tom on Twitter says Series 3, episode Hole. Moment, Richie's weight being too much of the Ferris wheel. I think we've had that before. Line, 10 long years lamenting his experience in the Falklands War.
How long did the Falklands go on for?
I think it was like 4 years.
Yeah, certainly less than 10.
Was it
literally months.
It was like a couple of weeks, wasn't it?
No, it's literally about 8 or 9 months.
Right. Yeah. And Mr. Rottweiler is his favourite character. Mike, the Evolution of Horror podcast, which I recommend if you're a horror fan, goes for series number 2, episode Culture. Favourite moment, the whole shoplifter scene from Sup with what about the goddamn Jaffa Cakes asswipe. That's just Rick.
So the fictitious shop, like him imagining
Johnny Cartwright nicking stuff.
Because they're actually, well, it's not maybe shoplifting, it's a riot towards the end.
But that whole sequence is just Rick on his own, isn't it? Just
pulls the head off some kid and manages to reattach the
head. Mike's favourite line is one of mine as well. Instead of hanging around the flat all day like some vast slug.
Yeah.
And favourite character is Natasha. So Natasha's, sort of
she's a fan favourite, isn't she? She'd definitely be a fine addition to our guests on the podcast.
Yeah.
Jake on Twitter says first series episode is Parade. Richie falling down the stairs as Kilroy. Favourite line, it's funny, they say television encourages violence, but I'm smashing his face in and we haven't got one.
Is that the first breaking of the fourth wall, talking directly to the listeners or the viewers?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, like,
that's in Culture, which is already series 2, and they do it in series 1, don't they? I mean, in Contest, Eddie kind of looks a little bit down the camera, doesn't he? When the whole Janie speech is happening, he's always kind of like, "What the fuck." And then when they've got the key in the soap and like behind the radio and everything.
That's the same episode.
That's the same one. But I swear they break the fourth wall in series 1, don't they?
Maybe. I can't think of a certain moment.
In Culture, they do it.
There's definitely moments where they look at the camera, like Eddie gives the camera a look sometimes, but I can't remember if they say something.
Yeah, there's that Eddie where he sighs and looks to camera, isn't it? Like, that happens in Apocalypse at the end, doesn't it? When it's like, oh, so that was where, the money, that's how they knew all those things. Yeah. Eddie looks down the camera lens, doesn't he? And does that.
And Jake's favourite character is Mr. Rottweiler. James Charlton on Twitter, series number 2, episode Culture. Moment, Richie's move during the chess match. So I think that's the that's the whole over the top lads.
Dun, 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 and his move, it's any kind of tactics involved.
Richie's move is just like throw everything at the opposition,
squeezing blood everywhere as well. The Queen's Own ketchup and machine gun noises.
So childish, but so brilliant. That's one of the reasons why I'd choose Culture. I think if I had to choose.
Favourite quote, one that I was expecting before now. Musky fox, musky sly old foxy stoat, minky musky sly old stoaty stoat. Favourite character, first time here, Falklands War veteran Robert Llewellyn.
Yes,
Mr. N. Styles.
I'm gonna smash your face.
I don't believe it so much.
Yeah, he's great.
Geordie Alex on Twitter, favourite series second, favourite episode Culture, favourite moment, pin the tail on the donkey, put a bit of sellotape on the fridge. Favourite line, running all your way, he's trying to hedge his bets here, running all the way and what you sucked water in through your eyeballs.
That is a very good one.
And then he likes Skullcrusher Henderson's inexplicably red earlobes. And then in brackets, not him, just his inexplicably red earlobes. Okay. So there you go. Right. And
so we put a screenshot of the red earlobes as part of this episode.
Right. And just having a look at Instagram, just so we're covering all of the social medias. Soupy Moo, who I recognise as the comedy doctor, goes for series 1. Favourite episode is Culture. Standout moment, pin the tail on the donkey. Line, first one from the live show that someone selected. Have you seen the toilet paper? You ate it last night because you said it'd save time in the morning. And favourite character, Spudgun. So another one for Spudgun.
That's a wonderfully surreal idea that he shitting out toilet papers, wiping his bum as it's happening.
I love the logic of that.
Yeah.
Put it in the fridge. Lotion in the basket. I love it when people have weird names. Goes for first series, episode Accident. Standout moment, don't you call me overweight, young man, going and falling down through the Ferris wheel. Favourite line, I bet you've all got smashing blouses on. And then the character, going for one of my favourites, Mr. Harrison.
Okay. Lotion in the basket is a Science of the Lions, if I'd say, Science of the Lambs reference.
A reference to Silence of the Lambs. Silence of the Lambs, which was out in cinemas when the bottom opening titles were being filmed, because in those behind-the-scenes clips that we've seen, you can see a billboard for Silence of the Lambs in the background.
Okay. On a bus or
No, just on a building. In fact, a few months ago, before we're doing this 30th anniversary Bottom series, I wrote an article about the 30th anniversary, because it was the 30th anniversary of Silence of the Lambs. So,
same year. Okay.
Yeah.
1991, what a great year.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah. Joe Gibbons goes for first series, episode Gas. Standout moment, Richie dressing up as Father Christmas. Line, too many to choose from. That doesn't help me, Joe. And favourite character, Spudgun and Hedgehog.
There we go.
Someone likes Hedgehog. Yeah, but he's been thrown in there with Spudgun.
But that's where he belongs.
Too many to choose from isn't a line, is
There
it?
is.
And we're missing it.
Oh, actually,
Too much to choose from, isn't that a line?
God, there's so much to choose from.
It
It
could be that he's thinking that, but I think he's probably saying there are too many lines to choose from.
On Instagram, Present Inc. says second series, favourite episode Smells, standout moment, the fight in the gas episode, and their favourite character is Sir Roger Cobham, OBE, or as he's known to his friends, Sir Roger Cobham, OB.
Have you written that down?
No, I did that last bit.
It's funny how many other people have been. Oh, it's OBE. Because watching it, you would not have a clue.
No.
Gareth55 says third series, episode Finger. That's the one where they go to the Marveloso Splendido Hotello. Moment, the Gold Frankenstein and Gurr scene. Favourite line, one of Eddie's, I would rather cut off my penis with a rusty bread knife.
And a bread knife. Just a bread knife, having to saw it.
Thanks.
That's
Yeah,
horrid.
yeah.
But it's rusty.
It's the fact that it's serrated, isn't it?
Yeah.
And favourite character, one we should have seen more of, Chief Inspector Grobbelaar.
Yeah, I think.
Very good.
And then we'll end on Unlimited Melon Pan, whose favourite episode is Sout, and whose favourite line is, Richard, I'm warning you, if you don't shut up and let me watch Miss World, I'm going to stuff your head up your bum and you'll spend the rest of your life wandering around on all fours looking for the light switch. Favourite character, Harry the Bastard.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, now they call me Ted.
So we've gone through a lot of people's moments and lines there, right? So we've covered ourselves, our favourite characters, our favourite episodes, our favourite series. If you guys were to choose a couple of each, favourite moments and favourite lines, what do you think you would go for? Let's say you can take 3 to Hooligans Island with you.
I'm having to brace myself.
But
It's so very difficult, but I think I wrote down a few things here, and I think it might be my Christianity, my being raised as a Catholic, but one of my favourite lines is definitely "We've been burgled. You might have been, young man, but I have never in my life. As a Christian, I'm so tightly clenched."
Yeah.
So I love that from Rick in Carnival. Jesus had his problems, but he didn't have to put Eddie to bed every night. I think that is a great line. And then just "That's why I never got a shag" speech from Richie in Holy.
Brilliant.
But there are so many other things I could put in there, and I feel I'm literally, my stomach is clenched having to choose.
What about so those are some good lines. What about moments?
Oh, well, I mean, without being a complete and utter, like that, that's what everyone thinks, I do think you've got to say the Ferris wheel, and then also the falling down the stairs as Kilroy.
Yeah.
There are many more that I could say, but I can't because you've got to choose a favourite, apparently. What about you, Paul?
So for me, my favourite lines, the ones I've got for my favourite 3 would be, I thought I'd try to burn it off. What, your face? I just love that. And I remember laughing out loud when I first saw that. They're not much use pickled, are they? Well, mind you, Sarson showed some interest.
Brilliant.
I think that's a brilliantly written gag.
Yeah.
And finally, one that I use regularly in everyday life, running all the way.
Yeah.
It's not particularly funny. I just use it all the time.
No, it is. It's brilliant because it's the running all the way when it's meant to be an urgent
said
thing.
Calmly.
But probably the moments that I've gone for are, one is "Don't you call me overweight," followed by a crash.
Mm-hmm.
One is just Eddie eating lard and revealing what it is.
Yeah.
That whole sequence. But my favourite one, this is probably my favourite moment in all of Bottom, Edward Hitler come down here at once.
Yeah.
Crash.
Sure.
That would be another one that it's so hard.
Yeah, it's ridiculously difficult. Matt, what about you? Favourite lines?
Favourite lines. I really like Richie turning on a dime with the birthday card, all the stuff. And it's some sort of joke, And suddenly, it's a lot more serious. All right, okay. That's after him getting the comb, isn't it?
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
It's a comb. It's my comb. All the escalation of that. I very much like the goodnight speech in South.
Right.
That, as a child, and as an adult still. If I hear goodnight, it's my mind. Sort of like hearing A.
Do you then have to go
through, and then
do you have to go through the entire thing?
in my head, at least humming it. Don't have to say it out loud.
They do
Yeah.
boo. Yeah,
Absolutely.
all that, yeah.
Yeah, one of my all-time favourite lines as well is dodgy Bob McMayday, the most violent travel agent in the world. I also got a big soft spot for Shotgun Bastard and Dribble in, and the blah 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 blah. That like it's inferred that they literally have the words blah written down on the page, and then £15,000 and him putting his eye onto the paper, like as if to see it clearer.
Well, are we including the lives in this then? Because I was narrowing myself down to the.
It can
the
be
TV.
anything you want from the whole universe of
Oh
Bottom.
God! Well, God save the Quim.
Well,
Has
it's my
to be
turn now. You've already
mentioned.
made your choice.
But I'm just saying, God save the Quim.
Well, in that case, you can't have one of the other ones ever again. What about moments, Matt?
Moments. So the chess fight is one of my all-time favourites.
Yeah.
Obvious one again, like one of my favourite foods, ice cream. It's like that, but the gas man, frying pan, over one and one. And then I think my favourite moment with all the gas man stuff, I think, is the fork in the ghoulies. I just remember that as a kid, like thinking, oh, it's quite extreme. I've not seen something like that before on TV, like at 9 years old, 10 years old or something. But it was really like that noise.
Yeah.
Like,
Which Mark Lambert revealed was his idea, wasn't it? Yeah.
Was it really his idea? Like, they said, we should maybe stick it like, what about the ghoulies? It's funny.
Yeah.
And that sound effect. I mean, we haven't done favourite sound effect as a poll, have we? But that is fantastic. That squelch.
And I say maybe my favourite moment of all time in Bottom is the squeaky floorboard in the gas episode.
In Rottweiler's
thing, yes, where he treads on it. Oh, watch that floorboard. Comes back, treads on it again. Only comes back because he's been told about it. Or this one, yes, okay. And then treads on it, see the joke bit, because he's flagged it happened 2 more times. If he'd just let it go. That's so silly.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Those are the favourites.
I think the general consensus, what do you think has come out of this then?
All
do you
of
think
it.
it's the gas? All of them. But do you think it is the Gasman fight, the chess fight?
I think
the
people,
Ferris wheel collapse.
I think people remember the gas episode more than others, and people lean towards the gas episode and the gas man, the beating up of the gas man. But there was a lot there for Hole. There was a lot there for Terror.
What do you say the best fight is? Your opinion?
The best fight.
I think one that's maybe not the best one, but certainly has been overlooked and not mentioned here is their teeth getting smashed out on the bar in Doe. I think that's very good. But best fight is probably the chess one, closely followed by the South one. I think that fight's really good.
Oh, I was going to say the bathroom one.
That's your favourite, yeah?
I think
it's a very good one.
Chess
It's so difficult.
It's really difficult, isn't it?
And then if you throw in, do you count them together beating up the gas man? Because that's not a fight between themselves, but that is an excellently choreographed fight scene, isn't it? But we love it all. That's the point. The fan favourites is that it's all great. Is that why we've done this episode? To
What a
just
waste of
basically
time.
say we love all of it.
You know what? While you can see general leanings towards Series 2 and some scenes in some episodes, really it's a testament to the quality of Bottom that there's such a huge variety to choose from, that there's so many that people do go for, and it's difficult to choose a favourite. And that there's lots of people who are passionate about Series 3 more than others. Across the entire show, there's very little flab on it, and it's such a good show to choose from that, that's why the favourites encompasses quite a lot of things. If we haven't mentioned your favourites that you sent to us either on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, I do apologise. There were lots, so it was difficult to go through all of them, but thank you for contributing.
But please still send them in, and they obviously won't go on this episode, but we'll read them and maybe retweet them or something,
Yeah.
Still get in touch. Go on.
Who knows? Maybe we will compile a full-on poll, and by the time we finish writing the book, there could be, something that is mentioned, an overall consensus that we could get together in a spreadsheet. And
What book's this? What book are you talking about?
Talking Bottom, the guide to the cult. No, the cult sitcom guide. What were we calling it?
Talking Bottom, a guide to the cult sitcom.
Talking Bottom, a guide to the cult sitcom.
Written by us.
Being
Read
written by the fans, hopefully.
Regarding official polls, if anyone listening to this works for YouGov, please get in contact and we'll see if we can get a proper poll going.
That would be good.
Do you have to work for YouGov to submit a poll?
I don't know how it works, to be honest.
I've only said like, do you agree that something that's very agreeable, like, do you think that people shouldn't be treated like shit? Yeah, I'll vote that.
Do you think that Aid Edmondson should come on and do an interview on Talking Bottom? Yes, he should. Thank you very much for listening. We're going to go off and write the book now, so don't be surprised if you don't get some episodes for a while. There'll be some interviews still coming because we've still got quite a few interviews left to drop. So we might drip feed those over the next couple of weeks.
Absolutely, because we're researching furiously in between masturbating. That's why we're still very much in the process of writing the book. Thank you for all your patience for people who've already pledged. If you want to pledge and you haven't got yourself a promise of shitty pants or junk mail, or indeed just a signed copy by us, I don't know why you'd want that, you can go to unbound.com/bottom,
and it's the only one there that's on Bottom. We've cornered the market.
And don't forget to check out our social media at Talking Bottom on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter, and you can always get in contact with us at 11mathkingparade@gmail.com. See you next time.
Bye.